Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fruit of Grisaia. This episode is probably going to be weird if the loading screen was any indication. Tunafish Man? I'm still riding that high from finally getting a choice after 18 episodes.
Our next choice will be in episode 36.
You know, at the pace this game is going, I feel like that might not be that far off. There are many kinds of heroes in this world.
My favorite is Hero Yuuji.
The famous heroes who really existed, like Jeanne d'Arc, the female commander who broke the deadlock of the 100 Years' War. The hero of legend, like Heracles of Greek mythology, who carried out 12 great labors and fought the forces of chaos in the Gigantomachy?
I mean, that's not all that important. The important thing is, honey, you mean Huncules.
You know what? Fair. Even the small heroes whose names are quickly forgotten, like the anonymous man who selflessly protected a young girl from a vicious stray dog, or multiple vicious stray dogs. But among all the varieties of heroes, the admiration of children is mostly reserved for the super category, composed of flashy characters who use special powers to fight for justice in comic books and television shows. And also Adam West.
Like Squirrel Girl.
Oh yeah, that too. Originally, a superhero is supposed to protect the weak and crush evil, but these days, matters aren't quite so clear-cut. It seems mysterious superheroes with unclear motives have come into fashion. I learned of their existence not too long after entering my new school. Bull?
Karubi!
What? When I arrive at the third floor, having decided to finish my laundry early, I find Sachi and Makina screaming at each other about food. Oh, okay.
Thigh meat.
登場するなり、自分のフェチを力強く連呼。これはさすがに予想できませんでした。さすが風見さんです。
Should have just been breastises.
Well, yeah, I mean, who doesn't like delicious thick thigh meat?
It's true. I mean, you're not wrong. What would you rather have, that or turkey ass?
Turkeys ain't got no ass.
You've seen Norbit? Yes, they do. No. You two seem to be discussing your lunch menu, so I was trying to play along.
おかず？なんで？
What are you talking about?
You were screaming about fatty tuna and spare ribs, right? Like, weren't you arguing over your meal plan?
あ、いえ、それは違います。
Okay.
私たちは今、マグロマンごっこに身を投じていた最中だったのよさ。
I feel like the words vigorous and Tunafish Man don't belong in the same sentence.
Tunafish Man, is it?
I've been hearing that name fairly frequently since entering this school. Since it ends with man, odds are he's some kind of superhero.
Like Repairman?
Man. Yes. The tunafish part is slightly harder to decipher. Perhaps it's the nickname of a hardened warrior? A man so tough that even under the harshest enemy interrogations, he stays as cool as an inert as a dead fish? So, Yuuji from Sabbath of the Witch?
So far.
Yeah. He's gotten over the eyes of the dead fish part, though.
Yeah. Man, I love that game.
Oh, it's great. I do think it's funny that that's a through line for this, because there was that one line about Michiru, eyes of a dead fish, and I'm like, weird thing to have in common, but okay.
Yep.
Or maybe he's a socially conscious superhero, fighting back against the environmental consequences of tuna overfishing?
But I'm overfishing whales. Okay, whatever. Keep going.
He's a big fish.
No, I was pondering about, a little bit, but also I was pondering about this Tunafish Man character.
Man.
もしかしてお兄ちゃん、マグロマン知らないの？
Afraid not. I first heard the name quite recently.
それは由々しき問題かもしれません。いわゆる普通の生活をしていれば、一度は耳に入ってきてもいいカルチャーですから。
Says the woman that doesn't understand social cues.
そう、マグロ
マンは今や学校のテストはもちろん政治家の演説にまで登場するマストフェイマスなヒーローなのよ。
Is that how people are getting elected? By comparing themselves to Tunafish Man? Interesting.
Say what?
マキちゃんの言ってることは少し大げさですが、少なくともここ三島崎ではかなりの人気キャラクターになっています。
I see. You know, in my previous school, I usually had my hands full with studies, quotes. So my knowledge of popular culture may be somewhat lacking at the moment.
The fact that studies is in quotation marks leads me to ask even more questions. What did his studies entail?
I don't know, it's probably like my studies in high school.
Somehow I doubt you two are the same. Just a guess.
No, probably not. But, it probably has as much to do with studying.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
それなら一度実際にご覧になってみてはいかがでしょう。
Show me an image.
Is that possible?
はい、マグロマンはいわゆる日曜朝のテレビヒーローですから、あと5分ほどでちょうど放送が始まります。
Oh, that's convenient. マグロマンごっこ30分延長しちゃったから。
もうサッチンのサービスの良さについついプレイを延長したのが肌になったのよさ。
I thought the only thing she could roleplay was a maid.
Oh.
This Tunafish Man is still something of a mystery to me, but apparently he's a compelling enough character to make a surreal game like that addictive.
というわけで、私たちはこれからロビーのテレビでマグロマンを視聴するのですが、風見さんも一緒にいかがですか？
I didn't even know there was a TV in the lobby.
No, I think I will. If this character is as famous as you say, I don't know, it might be best to have at least a passing familiarity with the show.
風見さんならそう言っていただけると思っていました。
うし、お兄ちゃんも視聴者になったからには放送時間に遅れないようにダッシュで1階に向かうのよ。
Do we get to eat some Tunafish Man candies? Ew, tuna flavored.
Right.
サッチン急いで電源オンにするのよさ。
Sachi dives toward the television set like a runner stealing home and mashes the power button. A commercial for a snack food I recognized from my childhood fills the television screen.
7時59分ギリギリセーフなのよさ。
やっぱりあらすじもちゃんと見ないとね。
Last time on Tunafish Man. Judging from the childlike sparkle in their eyes as they settle on the sofa, it would seem these two really are looking forward to the show. My curiosity piqued, I turned my attention back to the television.
これまでの鮮魚超人マグロマンは
I wasn't that far off. I'm already confused.
B 遠く藤沢の地から世界征服を企んで早3ヶ月。
This is already exactly what I wanted.
It is exactly what I
天
wanted.
ヶ瀬神社とかいう
But-
今にも潰れそうな神社から
But-
牛タン屋に変えてやろうと思ったら乱暴な巫女のせいでひどい目にあったび。
Sorry, go on.
There are so many things that probably should have had at least a chibi scene, if nothing else.
Yeah, you're right. And this is what they put painstaking effort into.
I love it.
You know what? You gotta pick your battles, I guess.
どこかにもっと征服しやすそうなところはないのかび。
Alright, do we get to find out why he has the guitar, or...
B! それでしたらこの三星町などいかがでしょうか。
三星町、それはどんな町なんだび。
B! 西伊豆にあるひなびた温泉街らしいのですが、リピート率の高い老舗旅館があるそうです。
Is this one of those educational cartoons?
それはいいことを聞いたび。じゃあ次はその旅館を焼肉激安食べ放題の店にしてやるび。
What's with the why is he wearing that cheap looking mask?
Oh, I wonder if it's supposed to be like Power Rangers.
かぶり物言うな。あれは焼肉帝国でいっちゃ偉い人のカルビ将軍マグロマンの宿敵なのよさ。
カルビをモチーフにしたカルビ将軍とマグロをモチーフにしたマグロマンが戦っている。まさに肉と魚のぶつかり合い。子供たちの理解度に合わせた実にわかりやすい設定です。
Yeah, I guess it could be something like Power Rangers or any of the other like really cheap ones.
Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Because Big Bad Beetleborgs, you know, because what was it? Because you know all of the Sentai shows were really cheap anyway.
True.
And then in the U.S. they got brought and dubbed, you know, years after they
Oh yeah.
were on TV. So like a 5 or 10 year delay. So it's even cheaper. What was Big Bad Beetleborgs? What was the original show?
I have no idea.
It was like Kibito B Fighter or something like that. Like I know it exists, but I've never watched it.
Yeah, I haven't either. I mean, the only reason that I even remember Big Bad Beetleborgs is I watched an episode not that long ago because I saw it was streaming and I was like, oh, I wonder if this show is as terrible as I... Yep.
It probably is, yeah.
Yep.
I remember it being not great
No.
when it aired, and the only reason I watched it is because
It was on?
not just it was on like what do you call it? Like network TV.
Oh,
so
yeah.
even if you didn't have cable, you would still get it.
Yep, that's exactly the reason that I watched it, because I'm pretty sure when it was showing,
Yep.
I did not have cable.
Me neither.
Yep.
Sorry, but is there a point to staging a battle between meat and fish?
いえ、ないと思います。
Toy sales.
I see.
As I tilt my head in puzzlement at their explanation, the program's theme
Please.
song begins to play.
Please.
ところでさっちん、この CD ってもう発売してたっけ？
ううん。確か、まだ発売日すら告知されてなかったはずだけど。
だと
I think
し
it's
たら
just happening
制
in the
作者サイ
background.
ドは一体何をやってるのよさ。出せばミリオンヒット間違いなしの神曲なのに。
Points for that.
いい曲だってことには同意するけど、さすがにミリオンは難しいんじゃないかな。
I'll just be happy as long as it doesn't get us a copyright claim.
Huh.
The real
It'd
world...
be funny if it did.
I know.
It would be hilarious.
Be like, son of a bitch, okay. The real world can be a heartless place, especially when it comes to music about fish-themed superheroes.
ここが三星町です将軍。
それならまずは老舗旅館の場所を調べるべ。ん？
待ってよレンゲち
Akina, what are you doing in the show?
ゃん。もう急がないとメロンパンが売り切れるって言ったのはナナノちゃんでしょ。
ナイスタイミングだべ。あの小娘たちから旅館の場所を聞き出すべ。
Bees. The location.
That's really good.
Oh, man.
メロンパンじゃないよマンゴーメロンパンだよ。はいは
Do
い
we go back to Kinero Lavarice?
Yeah, it feels like it.
ちょっとすみません。ここら辺に
What?
人気の老舗旅館があるって聞いたんですが。
Why are you suddenly a pretty boy hero?
はい黒田旅館なら私の家の隣ですってカルビ将軍
I love the idea that
そこの娘。もしかして我々のことを知っているのかべ？
who knows in this universe that there is a guy named General Spare Ribs who's just an anthropomorphic bull
With a guitar.
with apparently a guitar and a cape, and you would at any point have a guy come up to you, who is that, and be like, hey, do you know where this is? And it would take you a minute to be like, wait a minute.
知ってるも何も毎週欠かさず見てます。
そうかびそうかび。いつの間にか
I'm sorry.
我々も有名人になったものだび。
Alright, I'm even more confused than I was at the beginning.
ビー
って言っても私は知らないし、ただの変質者じゃないの？
変質者とは失礼なび。私は焼肉帝国のカルビ将軍だび。
Nobody can resist my delicious meat. Wait, that makes me sound like more of a pervert.
ああ、一応これ名刺です。
What's with the code switching?
It could get so much worse.
Oh, it really
It
could.
could get so much worse. It's just, I'm General Spare Ribs, the toughest around, and you'll never beat my meat. Wait a minute. I didn't mean to say that.
ああ、要するになんとか将軍役ってことね。
I can't tell how meta this show is supposed to be.
What?
ビビ。ヒーローものの禁句を口にするとは最近の子供は夢がないび。それならさっさと旅館の場所を教えるび。
Beans.
でもカルビ将軍は黒田旅館の場所を聞いてどうするつもりなんですか？
I'm gonna stuff my meat into your mouth. Wait, no.
Wait, holy crap. I mean,
それはもちろん旅館の経営権を奪って大型の焼肉食べ放題店に改装してやるび。
you'll never fit all that meat in your weight. I mean,
そんなのダメだよ。だったら私旅館の場所絶対に教えないんだから。
こしゃくな。それなら貴様を人質にしてこっちの娘から聞き出すだけだび。
ビ
大丈夫ななのちゃん。必要ならすぐに警察へ電話するけど。
The cops just answered the phone. No, we don't deal with this.
警察とか夢のないこと言うなび。
大丈夫だよレンゲちゃん。私たちには力強い正義の味方がついてるからね。
正義の味方？
ビビ
それはまさか。
そのまさかなんだよ。助けてマグロマン。
Oh, for some reason I thought she was gonna have something like a tunafish whistle.
that'd be awesome.
ビー
何も起こってないみたいだけど。
We have to wait till the next episode.
焦っちゃダメだよレンゲちゃん。マグロマンは駆けつけるのに時間がかかるんだから。
Turns out he can't fit the costume inside of a phone booth.
へえ、そうなんだ。
えいえいえい魚だけにえい
That's somehow worse than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't
Me
that.
too. I was expecting half man, half fish,
Yeah,
but like the top half was a fish. I got worse.
yeah, I kind of thought he was gonna
I
look
guess
like
I
a street
actually
shark.
got what I wanted. Yeah,
Yeah?
never mind. I got exactly what I thought it would be, but a lot worse.
Why the shoes? He sounds like he's wearing flippers.
Yep, my favorite part of this is his running is just...
Also, this is not helping with the jokes we've been making earlier, because this sounds so wrong.
No.
Anybody who's not wearing headphones, I'm sorry.
No, even the promos would be, I'm gonna pound your tuna.
Oh, God.
うわ、変なの来た。しかも徒歩で。
変なのじゃないよ。あれが正義の味方マグロマンだよ。
Okay.
なんか
He
もの
can't
すっごい
breathe on
息切れ
land.
してるけど。
Oh no. Who would have guessed?
マグロマンは CO2 を排出する乗り物を一切使わないエコな正義の味方だからね。
Just put him on a bicycle.
鮮魚超人マグロマン
これが正義の味方ね。
ビビ出たなマグロマン。
よいしょっと。
Okay.
ああ、正義の味方が現れたら人質は解放してくれるんだ。
It's in the rules.
そこはほらお約束ってやつなんだよ。
この世に甲骨魚類の助けを求める声がある限り正義のマグロは現れる。
But Tunafish Man, what about freshwater fish? Fuck them.
They're on their own.
人間は霊長類なんだけどね。
Yeah, that's an even better point.
Good point.
細かいことは気にしちゃダメなんだよ。
Alright.
Alright. Fair.
いつも我々の邪魔をするマグロマンめ、今日こそ決着をつけてやるべ。
望むところだ。
What instrument do you play, Tunafish Man?
ではこちらから行くぞ。うおー、魚だけにうおー。
But I have the feeling he's just gonna start throwing fish guts at him.
はあ、
くらえ、赤身赤身。
Oh, that's exactly what happened. Okay.
Ah.
I'm a little
Alright.
upset that I called that.
よし、今日もネタの鮮度は十分なようだな。
Where is the rest of your body, sir? I thought this was a costume. I'm very concerned for your health.
こしゃくな。
He's like, oh no. Oh no, my only weakness. When my meat isn't as strong as the tuna.
ならばこちらはこれだべ。ハラミハラミハラミ。
Where the hell did you pull a grill from? Oh my god.
Hey. These things just started ripping their own stomachs open and throwing their flesh at each other.
So, do they still qualify as superheroes if they're both undead animals?
これがマグロマンとカルビ将軍の戦いなんです。
自分の身を削らなければ本当の勝利は得られない。
How quickly did they regenerate, though?
マグロマンたちはその身をもって現実の厳しさを教えてくれているのよさ。
I see.
For a show that's supposedly easy for children to understand, this grim fatalism seems slightly out of place. Perhaps this program has an unexpectedly nuanced message beneath its bizarre surface? I don't think so.
先週契約した和歌山県産の備長炭で炙った贅沢ハラミの味はどうだび。
この焼き加減、匂い、思わず食欲をそそられて力が。
やけどは平気なんだ。
どうしたび、マグロマン。こっちにはまだロースもタンも残っているび。
くそ、このままでは。
どうしようレンゲちゃん、マグロマンのピンチだよ。
え、ピンチなのこれ？
フィッシュッシュ、そんなに心配しなくても大丈夫。私にはまだこれがある。
それは
I'm gonna throw my shoe at him.
パワーアップしたハラミ攻撃をなんとかしのぎ、渾身の必殺技を繰り出そうとするマグロマン。しかしそれを待ち受けるカルビ将軍の不敵な笑みの意味とは。
Find out next time on Tunafish Man.
ここで CM なのよ。
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for it to say, find out next.
I really thought it was too, but I figured it was a 50-50 shot, either a commercial break or find out next time.
今日は珍しくいきなりマグロマンのピンチだったね。
まさか肉の鮮度じゃなく肉を焼く火の方を変えてくるとは思わなかったのよさ。
和歌山さんか。
マグロマン。
本物と同じように動く、光る、震える。
Are we still talking about Tunafish Man?
これで君もマグロマン。 マグロマン変身ベルトセットカミングスーン。
何この素敵商品。欲しい。もう今すぐ欲しいのよさ。
Sachi, you know what to do. Make a belt.
Hold on a sec. I don't care if you want the toy, but did I miss something here? I didn't see a single transformation sequence in this show.
Actually, that's a really good point. What is it transforming into?
そういえば、マグロマンはいつも登場した瞬間から変身しています。
というより、ベルトなんてしてなかった気がするのよさ。
Another good point. Then what's just like the real thing supposed to mean?
It's actually just a belt with a fish attached to it, and that's literally it.
よしさっちん、今日の放送が終わったら変身ベルトについて早速リサーチしておくのよさ。
わかった。
くらえトロトロ
べー臭いび生臭いび
Just like the transformation belt.
どうだ筋の少ない腹紙部分のトロは格別だろう。
Seriously, where is his body? If this is a costume, I'm very confused.
I mean, he's got skeleton.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't the whole thing the guy is just dressed up like a bull? So is this actually
No.
like a fish man or...
No, I think this is a fish man.
Okay.
確かに脂の乗った上質な部位だがそれだけだび。
なんだと
The eyebrow.
まさかトロが効いてない？
それもそのはず。このトロはいつもの大間産クロマグロではなく赤道近くで取れたメバチマグロのものだびな。
What?
記録的な酷暑で海水温度が上昇し漁獲高さえ激減しなければ
This is like a weird commercialized Captain Planet. Well, Captain Planet's already kind of commercialized, but anyway.
ビービービービー。伊達に同じ技を何度も食らっているわけではないビー。
威張っていうことじゃないけどね。
くそヒーローとしての力を得ても甲骨魚類である私では自然の力に勝てないのか。
Damn it, if only I hadn't told all those freshwater fish to fuck off, maybe I would be in a better condition.
っていうかマグロマンは魚じゃないわよね。足生えてるし。
魚
じゃないわよ。
娘にまで突っ込まれるとはいい君だび。
CO2 さえ CO2 の排出量さえ削減できれば。
おっと環境問題への愚痴もそこまでだび。最後はこっちの必殺技を食らってもらうび。
I love these puns.
おれカルビカルビ。
Surely you can't have that many spare ribs left.
私は大丈夫だがこのままでは善良な市民が営む旅館が焼肉店になってしまう。
I'm feeling like a real fish out of water now.
頑張ってマグロマン。黒田旅館は三星町の顔でもあるんだから。
しかし私はすでに投げられる部分の身は全て使ってしまっている。
I've got to throw off my head now.
確かにお腹が骨ばっかりになっちゃってるよ。投げる部位ならまだあるじゃない。だってほらよく魚屋さんとかでも売ってるあれがまだ残ってるでしょ。
それはまさか。
何をこそこそ話しているび。さっさと諦めておとなしく焼肉帝国の焼肉屋で働くび。
それはできない。
Where did you get the spoon?
ビビ備長炭の力でパワーアップした渾身のカルビ攻撃を受けてまだ立ち上がるだと。
母なる海の恵みと 少女の知恵を得て私は今新しい力を得た。
新しい力？
くらえマグロマンの新必殺技。中落ち中落ち中落ち。
バカだ。まさか中落ちだと。
しかもセカミ部分からそぎ取った最高級の中落ち。その味は格別だ。
I'm very confused about what the message is here. Are we trying to sell tuna fish? Are we trying to conserve the environment? Are we trying to sell toys? Or is it some combination of the three?
Yes.
確かにご飯が進みそうだび。
さあそれが分かったらおとなしく藤沢に帰るのだ。
ビー不本意だがここは一度撤退した方が良さそうだび。だが世界征服の野望はまだ諦めたわけではないび。
変質者が逃げた。
これでここにいるのは紳士のみとなったわけだ。
いや、あんたも十分変質者なんだけどね。
This is my favorite character so far.
でもすごいよ。あのカルビ将軍を追い返したんだもん。さすがマグロマンなんだよ。
フィッシュッシュッシュ。少女の応援があってこそだ。そして利発な少女よ、今回は君の助言にも助けられた。ありがとう。
ああ、はいはい、ご苦労様。
うん。それでは君たちもマグロの乱獲にはくれぐれも気をつけるようにな。
大丈夫、私たちにはどうにもできない問題だから。
マグロマンもまた次の町を守ってくださいね。
もちろんだ。ああ、それと残ったこの中落ちは君たちが美味しくいただいてくれ。
いいんですか？
ああ、安心のお昼12時以降に作りましたシールも貼っておいた。
こんなに贅沢なおかずがもらえるなんてお兄ちゃんもきっと喜びます。
Did you hear that, Yuuji? Oh wait, no, you're not Makina.
食べるんだ、それ。
こうして今日もマグロマンの活躍により焼肉帝国の野望は阻まれた。だがこの世にカルビ将軍がいる限り本当の平和は訪れない。
My beef with him shall be eternal.
走れマグロマン、戦えマグロマン。この世に甲骨魚類の助けを求める声がある限り。
攻撃の際に使用された魚と牛肉はスタッフが美味しくいただきました。
Oh good, I was very concerned about that.
お決まりの文句も入って今日も完璧な出来だったのよさ。
So that's a complete story then.
新必殺技も見れて私的には大満足な内容だったのよ。
私も今日の展開には鳥肌が立ちました。
So today's episode was of the so-called heart-pounding, edge-of-your-seat variety, apparently.
それで風見さん、初めてご覧になったマグロマンはいかがでしたか？
ああ、それは私も気になっていたところなのよさ。
Let's see. It's a little difficult to put into words, but
He just stands up and walks out of the room, closes the door.
all said and done, it was definitely not a boring experience.
Yep. It's no lie to say that I found the setting and the plot truly thought-provoking.
そう、マグロマンは毎回毎回実に見応えのある30分を提供してくれるのよさ。
The funny thing about it is that whole segment was about 30 minutes.
That's what I
も
love.
し興味を持たれたようでしたら、こちらに今までの放送を取りだめた DVD がありますので、よろしければ
Oh boy.
You're well prepared.
委員長ですから。
I see.
You can take the class rep out of the classroom, but it seems you can't take the zealous devotion to service out of the class rep.
あー、三島崎にも来てくれないかな、マグロマン。
そしたらサインをもらうの？
そうだ、いつマグロマンが来てもいいように色紙とサインペンを買っておかなきゃいけないのよさ。
あ、待ってマキちゃん、それなら私のロッカーに。
Of course you do. An ordinary low-budget television show just inspired a shut-in girl to vigorous action. If you look at it that way, children's superheroes might have more redeeming value than immediately meets the eye.
あれ、こんなところで何やってるの？
I have no idea.
Nothing much. Until about a minute ago, I was watching a show with Sachi and Makina.
へえ、ユージがあの子たちとテレビを見るなんて珍しいじゃん。
True enough, but there was something I was a little curious about for a while, and those two were educating me.
That's one word for it.
ふーん、なるほどね。
Incidentally, Amane, tuna is good stuff, isn't it?
ごめん、あんた唐突に何言ってるの？
Oh no, the subliminal messaging got through.
Oh no. You know, tuna, I think tuna's really good. I want to eat your tuna.
Wait a minute. I think we got the wrong takeaway from that episode.
Well, I was pondering the topic of seafoods, and, you know, the thought just popped in my head.
思考ね。
I was right.
Well, you were.
Anyway, if I asked for a negitoro bowl right now, could you maybe make one?
あれあれ、ユージが私に頼み事なんて急にどうしたの？
Look, I'm aware it's pretty unusual coming from me, but the fact is I've developed a sudden craving for fatty tuna.
Specifically your fatty tuna.
何がユージをそこまで駆り立てるのかが気になるけど、まあいっか。あんたが私に甘えてくれることってめったにないし、今日はお姉さんが愛情を込めてネギトロ丼を作ってあげましょう。
Alright.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Fresh Fish Superman! Tunafish Man! Man. An eccentric superhero, decidedly unlike any other I've known.
I mean, I guess it's not all that different from Powdered Toast Man.
That is actually very true. Now that you mention it, I don't know why I didn't draw that connection until now. Powdered Toast Man!
Toast Man!
But if the spirit of justice burning in his tasty breast can inspire the hopes and dreams of two girls in this dorm, well, in a world that's already overflowing with tales of heroism, one more can hardly hurt. Now I'm gonna go eat fish. That was weird.
はい、もしもし。
I'm glad Yumiko agrees.
It was fantastic.
It was hilarious. You see now, that is an example of filler that I'm okay with because it was funny.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
If we're gonna have something that has no point whatsoever, make it, like, interesting.
Yes, I agree.
Like the episode where they get the driver's licenses. Or actually, they don't, right? Because they failed to pass.
Yes, but that's exactly what I was thinking of too. I know we go back to that a lot, but that just I feel like is the hallmark of a good filler episode.
It really is the hallmark of, like, 100% filler, but I remember it.
そうですか。今日。どうせ勝手に来て勝手に喋って勝手に帰るのでしょ。私には関係ありません。
Yumiko, do you have daddy issues?
では。
I'm guessing that's a yes. Sunday afternoon is a lazy time full of freedom, but for some reason, it also seems to inspire a deep melancholy in many people. It's because the next day is Monday. I guess feeling a little down about the approach of Monday is understandable, but why waste the free time you have left by sinking into sentimental ennui? It's a very Japanese thing. I feel like that just applies to a lot of kind of westernized cultures. Really, anybody that has that kind of Monday to Friday work week.
Oh, yeah.
Because of my occupation, I've made a lot of friends overseas, where they tend to enjoy their days off without any of the gloom. To quote, "Why think about that nonsense when there's partying to do? Wahaha!" Probably as a result of spending so much time with those guys, I'm not the type who gets depressed or wistful on my days off. But among my classmates at this school, there seems to be a few who suffer from the typical Japanese late weekend blues. I can understand in theory, but it's honestly pretty hard to empathize.
やっと揃ったのよさ。
I have all of Tunafish Man's bones! Machina practically skips down the road, playing with a strange keychain.
At a glance, that looks like a pretty plain little figurine. Is that thing really as rare as all that?
マグロマンキーホルダーシリーズナンバー14港湾作業者 A。
Alright, I wasn't that far off.
Harbor Worker A.
Wow.
Not to be confused with Harbor Worker B. Funny enough, has more
実に
lines.
見事な一品なのよさ。
That's what makes it so rare. Because he just appears in the one episode and then you never see him again, making him the rarest of all figurines.
I'll never forget, in a show that I can't go into too much detail. In a show that we were in, and we knew someone who was upset because one of our other friends had had a named character role.
Oh yeah.
And they did not have a named character role. But their, like, person number 3 actually had more lines. It's just they didn't have a name.
That's right, I remember that. Didn't we just make up
Really
some
funny.
random name just to appease them, but it didn't really work?
We're just like, your name's whatever now. It's like, oh, no, it's not. It's like the best monologue I ever heard in my life. In, like, real life.
Yep.
You know, not like stage monologue. Was one of my friends making the argument for why they should be considered a lead because they were the
yeah.
Wizard of Oz in the Wizard of Oz.
I remember that story.
And just like giving a full monologue to the director about how in the full programs that were given out, they need to be a lead. And it was like 10 on 10 material. It was great.
Yeah, what was it? It's called The Wizard of Oz, not Dorothy and her stupid little friends.
It's not called Dorothy and her 3 stupid little friends. It's the Wizards of Oz. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. That's me. Just like full monologue.
It sounds like some sort of Arrested Development bit or something.
It was great. It was a 5-minute monologue, and it was like one of the best things. I wish I could remember all of it, because I feel like it would be a great, if you could break it down like audition monologue, weirdly enough.
Oh, I love it.
Tunafish Man. Again? I've got to keep an eye on that one.
I'd been training my body as I usually do on the weekends, but Machina persistently hung around, pestering me to take her to the shopping district by the station, so here we are. Lately the girl's been furtively buying toys like this whenever she goes out with me, probably because Amane gets mad when she wastes too much money on stupid crap.
Don't mention this to Amane. She'll get cranky at me for encouraging your bad habits.
言わせておけばいい。嫉妬に狂う女につける薬はないさ。
She's jealous of your keychains.
Throw a line from some daytime soap opera at me, will you? Look, Amane just needs to stop watching that. No wonder she thinks like a 50-year-old.
お兄ちゃんが言ってたことなのよさ。
Hey, I watched The Young and the Restless one time, and it was for the fashion.
That would be Bold and Beautiful, right? That's the one in the fashion company.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. This is what happens when you like grow up with your grandma.
Fair.
Legitimately.
No, that does make a lot of sense.
Me?
having assumed the bad influence of the dirty old lady Makina lives with was responsible for that line, I'm flustered to find the finger pointed at me instead. Makina narrows her eyes to slits and turns to me with a smirk.
小娘の言葉遣いの原因を他人に転嫁しようと思ったらとんだやぶへびだったのよさ。
Alright, smarty pants, when did I say that?
お兄ちゃんも口の利き方には気をつけた方がいいのよ。
Apparently quite pleased about having cut me down to size, Makina cheerfully jogs on ahead of me. Amane and the others did say that my behavior has been influencing Makina, but hearing it outright from the girl herself is a bit of a shock. Seems I really do need to watch my step.
I don't get it. In the workplace, I was considered something of a moral exemplar.
あれお兄ちゃん、あれ何なの？
Makina suddenly stops a few steps ahead of me and points down the street. Oh, I thought she was asking what that definition was.
Huh?
100 meters or so ahead, there's something unusual enough to halt even Makina's momentum. Ooh, intense music. In front of the Mishima Cape Station, a cordon of jet-black luxury cars had blocked off the road where the local buses usually stop. 10 odd men wearing suits mill about the area, talking into cell phones, restlessly checking their watches, or discussing something in small groups. For Yakuza, they're too white-collar. They don't have the intimidating, aggressive body language characteristics of gangsters. That said, this bunch aren't exactly inviting either. Most people would probably give them just as wide a berth.
何なのよさ、あれ。
Don't know, but whoever they are, they're not anyone we want to be involved with.
どうしてわかるのよ？
Intuition.
Well, if they were friendly, respectable guys, they wouldn't block the road in the most nakedly intimidating way.
But they were wearing suits.
そうよね。ちょっと怖い。
They're not like Tunafish Man running around with his scales all out and about. I haven't often seen Makina admit to being frightened like this. The girl's brave enough to grab snakes and centipedes with her bare hands, but something about that group seems to be bothering her quite strongly. She's obviously very uncomfortable. No reason to hang around here.
Alright, I think maybe it's time we head back. Instead of those guys, maybe you should be worried about the homework you haven't even started.
What are you talking about?
それを知りたくないからこうして駅まで散歩に出てたのに。お兄ちゃんは非常なのよさ。
Gotta keep you on track.
Yeah, don't just stand there. Let's get moving.
ふぐぐ。
As Makina holds her head in her hands and moans, I poke her in the back, urging her down the street toward the dorm. As she finally starts to walk, I shoot a quick glance back toward the station area. The group of men in business suits has come to attention, facing the ticket gate in apparent anticipation. Just now, a special express train seems to be pulling in. The station employees are running around making preparations of some sort. Some sort of big shot arriving?
お兄ちゃん、まだ駅の方見てるの？
Makina looks up at me with a distinctly uneasy expression.
It's nothing, don't worry.
I ruffle Makina's hair gently and do my best to reassure her. We walk back to the school, still a little tense from our encounter with the mysterious group.
二人ともおかえりなさい。
Were you waiting for us this whole time, Sachi? When I enter the dorm with Makina, Sachi turns to greet us with her usual smile. It may be the weekend, but apparently she's decided to spend it scrubbing the hallways clean. As always, our maid Zeal with her duties knows no bounds.
Yo!
帰ったのよさ。
はい。風見さんもマキちゃんも無事で何よりです。お風呂が沸いていますので、ご希望でしたらどうぞ。
Wow, best maid.
それとも少し早いですが、
Hello?
夜のお供をした方がいいでしょうか。
Alright, Sachi, we need you to tone it back just a little bit. All of a sudden, I seem to have developed a ferocious headache. I press a hand to my forehead and close my eyes, but I can't suppress a bitter grimace. Machina is one thing, but Sachi too? Where did we go so wrong?
一体なんでこうなってしまったんだ。
Get out of my head,
顔してるのよさ、お兄ちゃん。
you witch!
Don't go reading my inner monologue. Oh, what did you do to Sachi? This is your fault, I assume.
Yeah, reading the inner monologue is my job, okay?
知らね。いいからちょっと試してみなって。実に都合のいいビッチメイドに仕上がってんぞ。
Machina, you're either the best or the worst wingman, and I can't figure out which.
One of them, at least. Yep.
I think it oscillates.
Listen to me when I'm talking to you. Also, don't turn people into slutty maids. We'll cover that later.
She did that herself.
マキちゃんが言うんです。メイドたるもの、すべての面においての奉仕が必要だと。
What did I tell you about watching reruns of Black Butler?
私はそれを聞いて、ハッとした思いでした。今までのメイドはあくまで上面をなぞっただけだったと気づかされたのです。
That's complete nonsense. Stop dancing on Machina's strings.
尽くしましょう。皆さんのためなら。
Well, that's gonna make your route interesting, isn't it?
それが命令とあれば、望まれるのならば、風見さんに性的なサービスをすることもやぶさかではございません。この小峰幸、お口ならばいつでも捧げ。
But we already ate Hamane's fatty tuna earlier. I interrupt Sachi's outrageous proposal, grabbing her firmly by the scruff of the neck and lifting her off the ground.
Now she's immobilized.
Naughty kitties need to be punished? No, wait, that sounds worse. Oh no! With the other hand, I seize the miscreant who's been putting troublesome ideas in her head. My prey dangling from both hands, I bellow loudly enough for the entire dorm to hear.
Get out here, Amane. Amane.
なーによもう。お夕飯の準備してたとこなのに。
Big sister, discipline. Amane appears in no time at all. Still gripping a potato in one hand, she favors me with a look of undisguised annoyance.
Hey, I'm a little concerned about something here. These girls are getting worse by the day. Might that possibly be my fault?
Yes.
はあ？そりゃあんたのせいでしょ。思いっきり。
Oh no.
I see.
I had a sense such a crisis might be approaching after Machina's words earlier, but it's still something of a blow to the face. Wait, but it's still something of a blow to face my fears made reality.
マキナもサッちゃんもユージが来て以来どんどん口も性格も悪くなっているというか。
That's what we get for just having no filtration on our own thoughts whatsoever.
上の口は悪くなろうとも
Oh my god.
下の口はこういい具合に
What?
痛いのよさ DV なのよさ
Get domestic.
Domestic.
とまあ
Took me a
こうなった
second.
のも明らかにあんたのせい。
I love it.
Yeah, she obviously picked that up from a man. I guess that means me. Sorry, I've seen the error of my ways.
I'll act like a monk from now on.
もうかなわんわ。
Amane answers in exasperated Kansai dialect. She seems to have concluded that my repentance isn't going to produce any real results, and I guess she's probably right. But I'm now firmly convinced that my behavior has been a bad influence on my two younger classmates. I'll try to tone down the guy talk and stick to nice, harmless chats about pasta, or whatever.
あれなんで今日はみんな集まってんの？何かあったんだっけ？
Michiru, your hair looks like pasta, or whatever.
Hey, Amane. We have at least one here who doesn't seem to be influenced by me in the least. Can I use her as mitigating evidence?
なりうるとユージが思うんだったら説明の機会だけは与えるけど。
Touche.
Okay, sorry, that's impossible. I throw myself at the mercy of the Lord.
何よ。なんかよくわかんないけど、多分バカにされたのよね。そうよね。バカじゃないわよ。
I can't tell if she actually picked up on the subtext or if she's just guessing.
はい、みちる様は大丈夫です。今の疑問の答えはともかくとして大丈夫です。
ともかくじゃねえ。あと根拠も何もないのに大丈夫とか言うな。
In this case, an external influence or two could pretty much only be a good thing. That said, the thought of Michiru remade in the image of Machina sends a cold shiver down my spine. We've got nothing but eccentrics in this dorm as it stands. I'd really like to avoid adding that sort of hybrid super pest into the mix.
そういやなんか今日駅前におっかない車が山ほどいたのよさ。
Clinging to Amane, Machina reports the earlier events.
おっかないって何それ。車高が激低いとか、助手席に変なオブジェが回ってるとか、そんなん？
What?
No, they weren't like freaky, scary, or like something I could see you driving.
ユージの中の私ってそういうキャラなの？ねえ。
The redhead version of JB.
そういうアマネーの乗りそうなおっかないじゃないのよさ。
Oh no, we've already failed. She's just back to repeating us like a parrot.
これもあんたが悪いわよね、ユージ。
Sorry, I've seen the error of my ways.
The scales have fallen from my eyes.
で、どういうおっかないなの？その車ってのは。
Did you ever play Twisted Metal Black?
黒塗り、超テカテカしてた。窓も真っ黒だった。え、窓も真っ黒だったら見えないじゃない、外が。
みちる様、スモークガラスです。
え、何それ？ガラスがいぶされてるの？
Well, technically.
Michiru, just stop talking for a while.
なんでよ、スモークっていうぐらいだから合ってるでしょ。なんで違うのよ。あんたスモークサーモンとかスモークチーズとか食べたことないの？
Not since I she-tell.
なんかめんどくさい流れね。要するにエンチュリーとかリクサスとかその手の高級車ってことでしょ？そうなのよさ。あ、そっか、今日。ああ、あんたいつもあれが来るときって朝から寮の中にいたから大名行列のことを知らなかったのね。大名行列？なんなのよさ？
Amane, I've been worried you might be the sort to stealthily hit the bottle in the kitchen when the kids' backs are turned. But have things progressed to the point of visual hallucinations?
Don't you mock my cooking, Sherry.
だから人をよどみなくスルッとアル中にするな。黒塗り高級車の列を例えたんでしょ？わかるやろそれぐらい。
We were buffeted with roars of Kansai-influenced rage, or inflected rage. However, I've already tuned Amane out. I'm currently wondering about the one conspicuous absence from our group.
By the way, I haven't seen Sakaki today. Is she out again?
ってユージってその辺のことも全然聞いてないの？
Nope.
No. I don't know what stuff you're referring to. What does Sakaki's absence have to do with your alcoholism?
アル中から離れろや。
今日はですね、
At my side, Sachi hesitantly begins to speak, but quickly falters to a stop.
What, should I not have asked?
いや、別にまずいってことでもないんだけどね。
Well, then, can we stop beating around the bush and just say what it is? For once, even Michiru has something of a restrained expression on her face.
今日、榊さんがいないのはあれよ。授業参観だから。
Her parents are visiting the school even though it's Sunday?
日曜だからよ。
What?
大名行列でいらっしゃるのよ。気まぐれでね。
So is it like a surprise inspection?
今回は電車で、そうですか。それで駅の方へいらっしゃって。はい。わかりました。では予定通りですね。はい。由美子さんは寮におりますので、学園にはいらっしゃらぬ。すみません。来客のようで。はい。はい。では30分後に。はい。どうぞ。
Here I was thinking the job of a principal solely consisted of signing off on paper. Well, it seems I was mistaken. I owe you an apology.
ただ電話してたってだけで仕事してるって思われるとか、本当にバカにされてるとしか思えないんだけど。
My impressions are easily changed.
Anyway, there's something I wanted to ask you about.
まあいいわ。とりあえずマナーとしてドアぐらい閉めてくれないかしら。
Why, are you worried about the one other employee coming in?
Oops, sorry about that.
After swinging the overly ornate door shut, I wander over to the espresso machine and pour out 2 cups of coffee. I set the cups down on the table, just the sort of dignified slab of wood you'd expect a raging giant monkey to fling dramatically through some window. Alright, then take my seat on the sofa.
自分の部屋並みに手慣れてきたわね。
Hey, I brought one for you. The principal grumbles a bit at my confident movements, but nonetheless sits down across from me without being asked.
それで話っていうのは？
Amane told me there's a parent-teacher conference taking place today.
授業参観。ああ、なるほど。そういうことね。
I feel like this music doesn't fit the implied tone of what's happening.
No. You know, I think you're aware, it's the weekend. There are no classes for anyone to sit in on. And there shouldn't be any teachers here to have a conference with. You know, weird enough, but on top of it all, you're at the school for some reason.
Oh, I just assumed she lived here.
休みの日なのにね。
You know, also there was a clump of expensive jet black cars sticking out like a sore thumb around the station this afternoon. And finally,
最後に？
I haven't seen Sakaki all. I don't know much of anything about her background, but that aloof attitude makes me think her family environment is probably unusual. Judging from the way the others reacted, all of this seems to be connected, so am I on the right track?
そうさんたちは教えてくれなかったの？
They were very cryptic about it.
I mean, it's a private matter after all. I didn't feel comfortable dragging it out of them. I came here to get, the stories from a more official source.
In theory, wouldn't she be less likely to share information since she is an official source?
I would assume that, yes.
そう。
The principal lets out a single sigh and stands up from the sofa. Opening a desk drawer, she takes out a brochure, then returns and drops it on the desk in front of me. It's the familiar Mahima Academy admissions pamphlet.
これ、あなたがここに来た当初見せたわよね。
Yeah, although, I just looked through it. Really?
This sort of informational brochure is generally packed with thinly disguised advertising or obtuse legal disclaimers. Either way, it tends to involve a lot of flowery, empty phrases, not genuine facts and figures. I'm not twisted enough to find pleasure in picking out all the lies and half-truths I can find in this sort of thing. This pamphlet in particular was written about this truly bizarre academy of ours. I expect there's more lies than half-truths, and mostly pretty blatant ones at that.
そっか。じゃあここもちゃんとは見ていないわよね。
Principal Tachibana flips the pamphlet open to the first page. Just as I'd expected, it's filled with pseudo-poetical sentences describing the school and its missions in highly exaggerated terms.
Is there something in...
The principal's pointing at the opposite page. In the upper half of the brochure, there's the words Principal Tachibana Chizuru, accompanied by a weirdly formal photo portrait. And then we have the Chairman of the Board of the Trustees, accompanied by a different name. Sakaki Michiaki.
So this would be...
The principal nods deeply.
そうよ。榊道明氏。偶然同じ名字なんてありえないわよね。
Otherwise, it would say no relation in parentheses.
榊さんの父親よ。今日視察にお見えになるの。
Interesting.
そろそろ時間ね。榊道明氏についてあなたはどれぐらい知っているの？
I know that he's the chairman of the board of the trustees.
As much as the next guy, no more. I haven't had any reason to look too deeply into him.
Sakaki Michiaki is a name you'll find extremely frequently in the papers, magazines, and television news. The East Beach Express Group, owners of the rail network with a prominent line running along the east coast of the Kanto region. As this powerful corporate body's president, it's only natural that he's referenced in the media on a regular basis. On the surface, he's the head of one of the leading Japanese business conglomerates and an extravagant multimillionaire. And behind the scenes, he's a heartless tyrant, ruthlessly wielding brute force to perpetuate the aggressive expansion of his company's rail network. He doesn't hesitate to shatter the lives of those who stand in his way. Oh good, he sounds like he's going to be a fun person to cross paths with.
Yeah.
In particular, there's a lot of talk about his borderline fraudulent tactics in acquiring land, apparently a legacy of the previous president. Under his leadership, the group has earned a friendly nickname, Eager Bandit Express. I'm really not particularly interested in that sort of gossip. The fact that I know his name anyway is a decent indication of just how much of an infamous celebrity this man is.
Well, that's about the extent of my knowledge. I hope this is the part where you tell me I've gotten the wrong idea about the guy.
Not at all.
マスコミの作り上げた虚像ではなく、本当の彼は好人物でとかね。フィクションならよくある話だけど、残念ながらそれはないわ。
Oh good. The principal takes a brief sip of her coffee.
その噂通りの彼が時々気まぐれで、娘のいるこの学園に視察ということでやってくるの。表面上は娘に会いに来てるってことになってるんだけど。
Oh yes, I'm sure he's just the picture of paternal love and care.
That's not the case.
会った試しがないわ。これまでに3回、彼はここを訪問しているけどね。
Fun.
彼女、榊さんの方から会うのを拒絶しているのよ。
There's a reason for that?
Asks Sakaki.
それを話すには、前にも言ったこの学園のできた経緯から話さないといけないわ。そもそも。いけない。そろそろいらっしゃるわ。
After stopping the alarm, the principal glances back at me.
今の話、また後ででもできるけど、聞きたい？
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
The man comes all the way out here to visit his daughter's school, then leaves without even meeting her? From that behavior, it's pretty clear the story of Mihama Academy's founding is directly connected to Sakaki's past and family circumstances, even if the principal doesn't spell it out for me. I don't think it would be right to hear anything more than this from a third party. I agree with that. That's probably smart.
Yeah. I'm sure it involves those complex reasons she has for being here that you were hesitant to talk about last time. That would mean you'd have to tell me things my classmate wants to keep to herself, and if you left the sensitive parts out, I'd end up with half of an unpleasant story, which is honestly just as bad.
Yeah.
そう。意外にクラスメート思いなのね。
Well, she does carry around a box cutter, so, you know.
No, I'm just looking to avoid making my life more complicated than it needs to.
Which is going to make her route fascinating. I stand up from the couch and begin to move toward the door.
榊さん、今日は多分寮の屋上にいると思うわ。
She just stands up there and glares daggers at him the entire time he comes. But before I can make my exit, the principal's words bring me to a halt.
さっきも言った通り、父親には会おうとしないのは彼女の方なんだけど、部屋にこもりっきりで出てこなかったり、その時間だけ外に出ているというわけじゃないの。
Interesting. I really thought she would.
父親の来るときは決まって寮の屋上から下を見下ろして通り一遍の視察をする父親の姿を見ているわ。
She's analyzing his walking pattern so she can figure out the best time to jump off the roof and get him.
And you're telling them this. Why?
他の誰も彼女のケアはしてあげられないのよ。あの通りの子だし、他の子たちも近づきにくいし、特に父親の来るときはピリピリしていて近寄りがたいから。
She's prickly as a porcupine during the best of circumstances. She's probably more like one of Robotnik's transformed porcupines at this point.
その点、あなたは最近榊さんとも交流があるみたいだし。
Define interacting.
Well, she hasn't stabbed us yet.
I don't know where you got that information, but it must be a shaky source. I'm not closer to Sakaki than any of the others are. If anything, it's the opposite.
I disagree. I think we've made a little progress.
そうなの。あなただったら少しは榊さんのケアもしてあげられるかと思ったんだけど。
Act on the basis of wishful thinking and you'll never get anything done. More importantly, don't you have a VIP to roll out the red carpet for? I'll be leaving now.
Hey, on your way out, can you grab that red carpet and start rolling it out down the hallway?
Yeah, sure thing.
Roll, roll, roll. I sort of sensed
The
this...
red carpet gently down the hallway.
Oh crap, I forgot about the stairs.
Play nice.
I sort of sensed this in our previous conversation as well, but the principal seems to be expecting some sort of convenient chemical reaction between me and the other students. Yes, I'm putting in effort toward creating something like a student life for myself, which means trying to maintain a basic standard of communication with my classmates. But if that were to cross the line, if I were to push my way into their private lives, there's no way it would end up well for anyone involved. After all, we're talking about people driven into something very close to an isolation facility. In the worst case scenario, prying could quite literally be a lethal mistake. If that kind of sounds like that might be the case. If I ever get involved in their problems, it's only going to be when they reach out to me on their own initiative. Since Sakaki hasn't shown any indication to do so, I'm not going to make the first move, and I'm convinced that's the correct policy.
Damn it. You know, the principal never gives me anything but trouble.
そろそろいらっしゃる頃よね。
ひとまず寮の周りの掃除は一通り終わりましたが、
いつもさっちゃんがやってるように綺麗にしてれば何も言われやしないわよ。
挨拶とかした方がいいの？
I wouldn't.
やめといた方がいいと思うよ。あまり人のお父さんを悪く言いたくはないけど、正直いい気分にはならないと思う。
She walks up to the guy. Hello, what the hell is that?
あまねって由美子のお父さんに会ったことあるの？うちの父さん料理人じゃない？だからいろんなところと交流があってね。それでここに入る前に挨拶だけはしたんだけどさ。
あまりいい気分にはならなかったんですね。
I'm really trying to figure out at this point what kind of archetype her dad's going to be. Is he just going to be like Gendo Ikari, or is he going to be a total sleaze? I really don't know.
Yeah.
なんかね、月並みな言い方だけど、目が笑ってなかったんだよね、榊さんのお父さん。言葉だけは気持ち悪いぐらいに丁寧だったんだけど。にしてもひどいよね。会社があるのかもしんないけど、わざわざ選んで休日にやってきて、しかもそのまま帰っちゃうんでしょ。まあポーズでやってることだからね。
あまり好きじゃない大人の匂いがするのよさ。
だね。まあうちらに会いに来るわけじゃなし、たかだか1時間かそこらなんだからおとなしくしとこ。そういや、ユージはどこ行ったの？さっき学園長のところに行くって言ったきり帰ってきてないけど。
I'm still rolling out the carpet. Be patient.
そういや、どこ行ったのかな。
理事長、お久しぶりです。
Oh, do we actually get to see him?
ああ、前に都内でお会いしてから2ヶ月。いや、3ヶ月ぶりぐらいかな。
He's not quite as bad as I was expecting. I really thought he was going to be like more stereotypically villain-esque.
Yeah.
今日はまたどういった理由でいらっしゃったのですか？
自分の建てた学園に来る理由がいちいち必要なのかね。
Oh, he's going to be one of these guys that never opens his eyes until he's really serious.
いや、
Yep.
そんなわけでは。
一体の視察のついでだよ。厄介なものを押し付けたことへの償いとして、私自身がこうして現地を訪れないことには示しがつかんからな。
Is your problem your daughter?
そうですか。
It's implied.
Yes, I figured.
あまり時間もない。いつも通りのルートで進めてくれ。
一応視察のコースはこちらで決めていたのですが。
いつも通りのルートで結構。別の場所を見る必要はないし、時間を割くなどもってのほかだ。
Wow.
はい。
では行こうか。
Will we run into him?
なんかこう、ちょっと扱いの面倒な発電所を押し付けられた感じなのよね。
ここの町にとっての学園がですか？
平時だったらどうということはないんだけど、仮に何かがあった場合、住んでる人の不安感ってのはそりゃすごいと思うわよ。
失礼よね。人をそんな扱いしちゃって。
Well, judging from a lot of the people in this academy, that might not be that far off the mark.
でも、そうされるような理由、みんなにもあるじゃない。
それは。
まあ、だからこその、この視察なのよね。何も問題ないですよ、大丈夫ですよってアピールのために、時々こうして大ボスがやってきて適当にうろうろして帰っていく。
It's really interesting because I feel like if the general public were that concerned about the nature of the school, though, they wouldn't have such good rapport with the students when they go out into town. Because I feel like they actually treat them fairly
That's
well.
true. Or, yeah.
So,
At least they do.
yeah.
The merchants do. I'm not sure about other people.
That's a good point.
カイワレやほうれん草食べるのと同じなのよさ。
だよね。つかそうでもしないといつ学園の排斥運動とか起こってもおかしくないもん。
私たち、やっぱり邪魔なんでしょうか？
そうじゃないって。だからこそみんな町では頑張っていい子にしてるんだし、こうやってボスが来た時もひっそりとおとなしくしてるんだから。
That explains a lot.
でもまあ一番辛いのは榊さんよね、やっぱり。
そうですよね。
Ooh, CG. Oh, I got what I wanted out of this episode.
校舎から出てきたわね。
I mean, you already had it.
Well, yeah, but I was hoping for a CG that didn't include an anthropomorphic fish. As soon as I opened the door to the rooftop, I'm met with a piercing glare. At least it's not a stabbing glare. Much like the last time we met here, Sakaki is standing straight as an arrow near the edge of the roof, her hair dancing in the sea breeze. But unlike last time, there's an undisguised hostility in her eyes.
Yo.
Holding eye contact, I answer her sharp gaze with a light greeting. As long as I don't look away from her, I'll be safe. She's clearly on her guard, so I stop my approach with a good distance still separating us.
前と同じ理由かしら。
What are you talking about?
ここに来た理由よ。偶然なのかどうか聞かせて。
Well, it's not a coincidence. The reason I'm here, of course, is that I was slightly worried about a certain woman I knew to be brooding all by herself. Thanks to that meddlesome principal's unsolicited tip, I knew Sakaki's location. And having been handed that information, the idea of leaving her up here all alone started to feel strangely unpleasant. Of course, if I told Sakaki the plain truth in this situation, there's no doubt that she'd aggressively reject my concern.
A coincidence? Of course. I mean, I did hear today was a slightly special day, though.
So instead, I offer up a vague mixture of lies and truth. The ball's in Sakaki's court now.
そう。ならばそっとしておいて。話しかけないでちょうだい。
We could just stand here and not talk.
Don't worry, I didn't start the conversation last time either, remember?
That's true.
そうだったわね。
Sakaki breaks her sidelong glare in my direction, her gaze returning to the ground below. Since the dorm is only a 3-story building, the people below are clearly visible from our vantage point on the roof. Just now, the principal is leading a man in an expensive-looking dark gray suit, and what seems to be his entourage in our direction. Sakaki purses her lips tightly. As the approaching figures draw closer, she pulls herself back from the edge of the roof just far enough that she can't be seen from the ground. Her placement clearly conveys her desire to observe and her absolute rejection of being observed in return. Ugh, I don't like that guy's laugh. There's a voice from below. I casually glance toward the sound. The man in the expensive suit has a fake smile plastered across his face. His laughter is utterly hollow, to the point that it's actually physically unpleasant to hear. It's the forced laugh of a person who hasn't known real amusement in a very long time. Sakaki flinches at the sound. She opens her mouth ever so slightly, takes a few small breaths, and closes it again. Her sharp gaze is clearly focused on the man in the expensive suit. She watches the man fixedly as he struts along confidently next to the principal. It's the expression of someone sizing up an old and bitter enemy, but there's also something like sadness there. We haven't been formally introduced or anything, but it seems safe to say that the man in the suit is her father, Sakaki Michiaki. Compared to the man in the pamphlet, he seems slightly scrawnier, but I'm willing to bet that it's just the result of some subtle photographic retouching by his PR people. Yumiko simply stares down at him in silence. Those aren't, or shouldn't be, the eyes of someone looking at their father. That said, they're not full of murderous rage either. Her eyes are just sad. Sad and empty.
これで一通り回りましたが。
At the principal's words, the group stops just a little distance from the dormitory.
ああ、ではこれで終わりにしよう。が、その前に。
He turns to his side, fixing the principal with a cold-eyed stare.
念のために聞くが、あれはアバンと言ってるんだろう？
Jeez.
はい。どうしてもと。
With a single irritated grunt, the chairman turns on his heel and begins to walk off. He strides toward the front gate with his party, exuding overbearing haughtiness to the end. He doesn't look back. Jeez, what an ass. Sakaki stares, unblinking, at his quietly retreating figure. There's no particular emotion on her face now. She simply watches until the end. When his distant figure reaches the school building and finally passes completely from view, Sakaki drops both hands to the iron rail, leans forward, and heaves a heavy sigh. She stays that way for a long time, looking straight down at the concrete beneath her feet. The sea breeze picks up after a long interruption. Salty air rushes past us from behind. Sakaki's long hair and school uniform flap noisily in the wind. When the gusts die down, there's a moment of perfect silence.
やっぱり何も聞かないのね。
Sakaki mutters a few words to the concrete beneath her feet. There's a hint of weakness in her voice.
That's right.
I offer a concise reply.
I'm not tactless enough to poke my nose in other people's business out of mere curiosity. I think we've been over this. I'm not going to ask you anything. But if you have something you want to talk about, I'm willing to listen.
I don't know what Sakaki really wants from me right now. But I think her words pretty clearly indicate that she was hoping I'd ask her something. Of course, that doesn't mean I now have free rein to barrage her with questions. That isn't why I'm here in the first place. Why won't you see your father? Is there a reason you're in this school? What exactly do you think about Sakaki Michiaki? There's plenty of things that I'm interested in knowing, but it's not like dragging the answers out of her is going to change anything. If explaining things would offer Sakaki some relief, as her classmate, I'm willing to ask those questions. But as long as I don't know that for sure, throwing my curiosity at her would exceed good-natured meddling and land solidly in the territory of outright prying.
あなたの考えはよくわかったわ。
Sorry, if you find my reasoning unpleasant, this is just my personality.
I was born this way.
不快ではないわ。少なくともこれまで私の周りにいた人間とはあなたは違うみたいね。
Is that good? From Sakaki's expression, I can understand she doesn't mean that in a negative way. Her usual harsh, prickly aura of rejection seems to have softened somewhat.
私が話したいと思った時は聞いてくれるのかしら。
Like I said, talk all you want. I'm not gonna stop.
そうね。わかったわ。
Ooh, we're making progress. Sakaki pushes herself away from the railing and walks across to the door.
それじゃあまた。
Yeah.
Sakaki's slender hand throws the door open with a surprising firmness. As soon as she's inside, it closes solidly behind her. The wind picks up again, gusting strongly across the rooftop. A few stray grains of sand from the nearby beach blow into my face.
Guess I'll head back myself.
I'm not going to pretend to understand Sakaki right now. But if my arrival at this school, this dorm, my entrance into her life, can end up working to her advantage somehow, I think I'd like to make that happen. Simple as that. Right now, the fact that I'm living this carefree, peaceful life fills me with guilt. It's a burden that I carry with me every waking moment. If I can lighten that load of self-condemnation slightly by doing some half-assed pseudo-counselor volunteer work, then there's something in it for me as well. Of course, the way I'm thinking about this in such a calculating, mercenary way adds a whole new layer of guilt on top of it all.
On second thought, I don't know if I should be counseling anyone.
Slowly descending the stairs, I mutter quietly to myself. Sinking deeper into a Sunday afternoon melancholy that has nothing to do with the approaching work week, I continue my little soliloquy for some time. Well, that took a very different turn. We started off with a really light-hearted, goofy episode, and we ended on a really serious note.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that it balanced out in the end.
Me too.
Because this...
It did. Like,
yeah.
This episode balanced weirdly enough better than almost any. Like I
agree.
I really got back into this a lot more because of this episode.
I did too. Because I was thinking, it's been long enough and we've done enough of the kind of light stuff. We really need to get into this is going to sound like a pun given how this episode started, the meat of it. Pun pseudo intended.
Yeah.
Really picking the story off the bones of the Fish Man. No, we're not going down that. I think it's fascinating that we're ending up now really getting some details on Sakaki, but I don't know how much more we're going to get on the common route or how much is going to be reserved for her route, but I think her route might actually turn out to be one of the most interesting given her tie-in with the school. And I have to say, I think this episode has bumped her up in my ranking because now I'd say she's probably in second for the most interested. Me being most interested in her route.
Oh.
Because I know we've talked about that before, but now it's like, nah.
She's in my top 2. Still. It's still like neck and neck at the top.
Her and Amane?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's about where it is for me. Sachi was in that second place, but now Yumiko is firmly in second place.
Definitely for me, yeah.
So, but there's going to be more of that fluctuation. And I mean, it's not even just her backstory, it's her personality and the way that she's slowly opening up to Yuuji. It's fascinating because, yeah, he's keeping her at a distance, but I think that's kind of part of the reason that she's opening up to him, even to some small degree, because he's just got a very unique approach.
Mm-hmm.
He's treading softly around her, but not in the same way. It's not walking on broken glass. It's more like a calculated dance of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Not really.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. We hope you've enjoyed this episode, and we hope to see you in the next one. For now, we are the Bridge Boys, signing off.